clearly, if there's anything that Put Dash Easy and I have in common is that we both love the Sicario movies. And in this one map in particular that he made, we're going to be exploring the extradition of an HVT from Juarez over to El Paso. The protagonists, again, Matt, Steve, Alejandro, and Kate, in this case, specific to part one, are going to be making their rounds into Juarez, extraditing an HVT, and then hauling ass back across the border into El Paso. And that's kind of when things kind of go south for them right at the border. And so I'm not going to give it too much, but I'm just going to let you guys either see the movie. So pause now, go watch it, come back and see it. If you've already seen it, let's get down to the nitty gritty and start analyzing shit.
All right, let's go over a few things that we do know based on the movie. Let's go over the rules of engagement real quick. Essentially, we copy every movement and aggression that the enemy shows. If they get out of the car, we get out of the car, right? So, with that in mind, that little piece of information kind of gives it away on this map, and it's good to know. This is kind of it's the PNG file of the map, and I like to use this because it kind of um, keeps me a little bit more blind to the terrain and the layout of the land. Although this one's pretty self-explanatory, all the proper indicatives that this is indeed a road or a highway of some sort uh, allows me to believe that all these spots here are vehicles. And if that wasn't enough, dead giveaways are door open, partial door open, and door open. What this tells me now is that we are now essentially engaged. And so we have the freedom to run amok in a technical way. So moving on to the next phase is all the passenger, well, not all the passengers, but the passenger side door is the ones that are only open. So that also tells me that probably the spawn points for us, or the insertion points for us into this mission, are going to be somewhere here, 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 near this area, preferably on this side of the vehicles and not on this side. um, Reason I wouldn't like this side to be it is because we're too exposed. I'd much rather use the vehicles as cover, and they already know where the threat is coming from, so I don't think they would expose themselves like that. But you never know. Stranger things have happened in the world of cinema. So let's erase this. Let's erase this. Bring a new one in. Okay, so what we'll be doing is these two groups, or these two vehicles and their men, are gonna go from here to here and engage. Well, this group here comes from high and possibly from here and engage. I don't know where these persons moved if we got there in time, so I have to make sure that we maintain some form of security along these lanes here. All this unaccounted for space, we don't know. And if y'all have had the pleasure of going to the border, you guys will know that the lanes, or in between the lanes, there's people walking up and down, vendors, street vendors, just people just peddling stuff left and right. And they can also probably be hostiles, but we also have to maintain muzzle discipline and trigger discipline, right? So I don't want to set these guys off and put a target and just put a target between innocent bystanders and us, or innocent bystanders between the target and us, just to avoid any form of penalty, if we can afford it anyway. So that takes care of that. And then the final phase is spawn points. I think spawn points are going to happen here, here, and possibly here, and here. Now, for sure, I am 90% sure that spawn points will take place somewhere in this L shape. anywhere up and down this corridor and right here, just based on the movie. Could be wrong, but maybe the surprise or the kicker is that they spawn somewhere else, here or here. Um, the reason being is because if we're just going off the scene, it takes very little time for us to wrap things up. And so I think if this is going to be an enjoyable game or map, there will have to be some other little kickers thrown into the mix to make it more like suspenseful, right? So I'm going to keep my eyes open and try to provide as much as 360 degrees worth of security. In other words, head on a swivel. So, all right, that's my assessment and my mission planning. Let's get her done.
Overall, the map is solid. It has everything that you need in order to get your fun going, right? I didn't. I mean, and it surprised me. I knew that there was going to be an ambush because of the film. I didn't realize that how it was going to play out with the spawn points and here and there. And I know I brought up the spawn points, and yet I didn't check the corners as it were properly, and it caused for us to get ambushed on the lower right hand corner of the map, like it went on the map. So like it went in the game or in the movie rather. So that was pretty cool. Uh, One thing that I wanted to note, but it's gonna sacrifice one thing over another. You can't have it all, right? But it would have been great to have the HVT as an HVT in the game, like we already in our custody, but we just have to protect them from all the people trying to get them, because in the movie that's exactly what was going on. They weren't after our guys, or they weren't after the operators. They were after the guy they were extraditing into the States. But then that would have to force the map creator to make a spawn point, and then it would just complicate other things. And then either way, you would trade one inaccuracy of the story for another inaccuracy. So either way you slice it, you're going to end up with that. But the gameplay is great. I think it's a good map anyone can sink their teeth into, whether you've seen the movie or not. And just for the mechanics of door kickers, it would be a lot of fun, regardless of whether you know the backstory. I highly recommend it. If you want to download it, I'll put the link in the description down below. One of the good things that I love about this game is that it allows creatives to explore possible scenarios, right? And with this new update that they had recently in the past few days, where now you can create maps and submit them to the Steam and people can subscribe to them, I think it's worth noting that if you enjoy my analysis, feel free to comment, subscribe, and follow me, as I'll be analyzing other people's maps in the future. One in particular, by request, I'm going to be doing it in the next few days. If you have a request of your own, or if you build a map and you would like for me to analyze it for you and put a video out there, feel free to comment or look me up or send me a private message. We'll make arrangements for that to happen, and we'll make sure that you get your map out there in the world for people to see. All right. So this is me signing off, and I'll see y'all in the next one. I don't have much of an exit speech other than this one, but thanks for sticking around this long. I owe it to y'all.